we kind of jumped right into things. So tell me how your business is operating. I mean, the people who are watching this are real estate agents, and some may know you, some may not. But what does your business look like right now in terms of your focus? You talked about luxury homes, and other things, and your organization. What is the snapshot of the Casey Margenau business?
When I got into this business, after being in for 1 month, I realized that there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of stuff, and I hired my first administrative assistant.
1 month in?
1 month in.
Okay.
In 1989.
Okay.
Wasn't exactly popular back then.
June of 1989,
exactly.
Right? Okay.
So I actually just hired a college girl for the summer because I knew I needed this stuff, and just to kind of figure out what I wanted and what I needed, and then I learned to do that. I soon got my business rolling and realized that I needed 2 different types of people. I needed one that would just take them from contract to close, and then I needed somebody to just help me with the listings, putting in the marketing, putting in all that kind of stuff. At the very beginning, it was all the same person.
Sure.
Eventually, I got to a person where I had a marketing person, and I had a person that took care of the closings, so that I could deal with the sales aspect and the sales aspect only. That was my strength, that was my background, and the other jobs I felt were not worth my hourly rate.
Right.
Okay? So that's how I started off, and started doing a lot of business that way. I eventually got that into 3 administrative people, and then got a field coordinator also, just a guy that runs around, puts up my signs, drops off brochures at houses, does all that kind of stuff. Had a lockbox key, could get into our stuff, not an agent. So I wound up getting a core group of 4 people, and I made the most money I ever made in this business or anywhere when that was my formula.
Okay.
Because I handled all the sales. Okay.
So it didn't degrade your sales ability because you were still the sharpest knife in the drawer.
There you go. You got it.
Right. Okay.
So what happens? So many people get into this business and they start, their business starts to take off, and the first thing they try to do is give away the buyers.
Right.
Okay. And hire buyer agents, and that's the last thing they should be doing. Okay. So later on down the road, I decided to go ahead and hire buyer agents, and I did that for a while. But I found that the service quality wasn't quite as good, and I decided that I didn't like it as much, and I actually reverted back to just having me.
What would give me a time frame? When were we?
1995 is when I kind of got rid of everybody.
Okay.
And went back to just having the 4 administrative people and myself. Now, I've been doing this for 20 years. A few years ago, and I became the #1 agent in all of RE/MAX because I was the individual agent and had the support staff working me, and did that for a number of years. And then, as anything, it gets tiring being every single weekend out with people in the car, that type of thing. And so I started to change my business. Also, I have to think of the fact that I'm not going to be doing this forever.
Sure.
And I have to think of somebody to be able to take over after I'm gone. And so I started what I call a mentoring program. Most people call them a team. I don't look at it that way. And so I hired some agents to work with me as buyer agents. And so I've got a couple of them working for me. I don't want to be too big. I want to be able to work with, I don't want 12 or 15 buyer agents.
Right.
It's not where I want to be. I want to have a smaller core group, make them all a lot of money, teach them how to be really good at the business, and work with them consistently until they grow up to a place where they can do anything that I can do. And now right now I have a bookkeeper. That's full-time. I have my closing coordinator. She has a half of an assistant, and my marketing person has the other half of that assistant.
Okay.
So then that's 3 more people there. Then I have a listing coordinator who is a licensed real estate agent.
Okay.
And she is responsible for all of the follow-up with all the real estate agents. One of the things that a lot of people kind of drop the ball on. And communicating with our sellers, keeping up that communication. When you have a bunch of properties for sale, that's a 2-day-a-week job just doing that. She also helps me with getting all the contracts in as they come in and get them organized, get them done. I actually do the negotiations, but there's sometimes things have to be faxed, that have to go around, and she kind of runs the marketing people also, because she's responsible. And one of the key things that my grandfather taught me, who just passed away a couple of weeks ago, and one of the things that I've always been taught is to treat your employees like family, treat them well, with respect, but also that make them responsible. And so her job and her responsibility is to control those listings, make sure that we have them priced correctly, make sure that if I have to get involved with a deal, get involved with it, go in there and deal with it. And she's awesome. And she's been with me for 7.5 years. My closing coordinator, who just left at the beginning of this year to start her own business, was with me for almost 10 years. My marketing person, who also finally left. I've been, for a couple of years now, we've known that she had her master's degree while she was working for me. We knew that she was way overqualified for her job, but she couldn't get paid more because, she had been with me for a long time and she was doing very well. She left last year, and she was with me for 11 years.
Wow.
So everybody was kind of with me for a very long period of time, and I've just kind of done a little changeover, which has been good.
Yeah, right.
Because you get people for a lot cheaper now from a business standpoint. And I still have my field coordinator who's been with me for 18 of my 20 years now. So
one of the big, it's always jarring, of course, to lose the longtime people. But one of the good things, certainly there's the economics of it, but then the other piece is that it makes it forces you to make it be a business of systems as opposed to a business of people. You know what I mean? Sure. I mean, the challenge is, of course, it's nice to rely on the superstars that stay around forever and they've proven themselves.
Well, you throw out the playbook when you have somebody for a long time, because our business changes so much, and so we had to reorganize how a job was done with what's going on today. Like I said, when I first started, there was no such thing as the internet the way that it is today. Today, I've got 63 websites I got to be dealing with and making sure that we're on correctly, and, that they didn't mess something up, and just different things.
I might have missed it when you said it, but now do you have somebody? You have a listings coordinator. Do you have a showing coordinator? Do you have somebody who goes out there and shows property, or am I looking at them?
When somebody wants to see one of my properties, I am the #1 person to try to show it.
Okay.
Because obviously I have the best chance of selling it, and that's what I get paid the big bucks for.
Sure.
I mean, my deals are, $30,000, $60,000, $75,000 transactions. I got to make sure that I'm doing the right job. If I can't be there, I have 3 buyer agents now that I will pass a deal to, and they will go and show the property as well. Yesterday, I was in the middle of something. One of the people that's my client, we got a contract on their house. They wanted to go out and look at a couple of houses. I gave one of them the deal. They wrote the contract today. Okay. It was a nice, easy deal for them. Doesn't always happen that way.
Right. And that's one of the challenges, though, that I would guess that Rexall, they want to deal with Casey, right? And how do you elegantly hand a buyer client off to one of your buyer's agents, and then still feel like they're getting Casey treatment, if that makes any sense?
They don't have any. I've got it worked out. I've been doing it for so long that it's not that difficult of a situation. They're already used to dealing with different people through the process,
sure.
And I explain things up front with them when we do the listing. That I'm always there. I'm always in the background. I'm always looking over the shoulder of the transactions. I'm a little bit of a control freak. So I'm involved in the deal. And like this deal that just happened, we got a contract on their house. It was a good contract on their property. So they wanted to make sure that they had the house that they wanted. We went in. I was tied up. I said, listen, I'm tied up. I would show it to you myself, but I'm going to have Ron show it to you. They said, fine. He went over, showed it to them. And then this morning they said, yes, we want to write on that one. So I said, I'm going to send Ron over there, let him earn his keep. But I'll do the negotiations on it because I want to make sure that they get